Hey, Happy New Year everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today let's try and work out Megadeth's Rust in Peace rhythm guitar tone. I've been searching high and low on the internet trying to work out how this rhythm track was recorded. Mike Klink doesn't really say too much in his interviews and Dave doesn't really give too much away. I've read the whole book, I've read everything and listened to every interview, and nothing's really talked about how the guitars were recorded. So roughly around the same era when Mike Klink produced Rust in Peace, he also did Appetite for Destruction for Guns N' Roses and the Use Your Illusion albums just after. So at that time, I've heard that all he did was put a single SM57 up to the cap of the speaker and then just moved it within about an inch left or right or back or to find the sweet spot. So that was the starting point for getting the tone today, and I've used the 1936 vintage cab, the Marshall 212. It's got V30s in it, and I started just with the... No, he's all wrong. No, I didn't record it like that. We put the mic about 1 inch away from the cloth, which in turn is about 1 inch from the outer frame of the speaker, and just off the dust cap, probably 1 inch to the side on the outside of it. So as far as setting up the DSL 20H, I've just given it a little bit of gain, a little bit more than usual. It just seemed to need that when I was listening back to the recordings. I've backed the resonance off a little bit because it was a little bit boomy. I've not given as much treble as I thought I would, and the mids are pushed. And for my recording, I'm using the overdrive in the front end, and I'm using the EQ in the effects loop, just pushing a little bit more mids to give it that grindy sort of bite that Dave has in the recordings. So if you're wondering why I'm not using the Dave Mustaine VMNT for this recording, it's because he didn't have it back in the Rust in Peace days. He didn't have the live wires. So at the time, Dave's Jackson was much more suited to what I'm using here at the Rhodes with the Duncan SH2 TB4 pickups. Something to think about that also adds to the tone to get the Dave Mustaine approach to his rhythm work is the .73 Dunlop pick. And I find it's just it's a lot softer than what I'm used to use, and you've got to exaggerate a lot more hand movements. It seems harder to be on point, really. It's a difficult pick to use, I find, but the tone is so much better than any hard pick out there for playing Megadeth. You can dynamically control the guitar a lot better and get the sound and tone that you want to match that he used. The only digital effects I've added to this mix is a little tiny bit of compression in Logic Pro and a tad of reverb just to give it that ambience that Rust in Peace had. Other than that, what you hear is what you get, what's coming out of this speaker. I pre-recorded a right-hand rhythm track just so when I can play these back, you get a left and a right, so it sounds more authentic. If I was to play just the single SM57 coming through the amp, you'd think something's missing and tell me that it's not right. But when you have the two guitars in pairs, so hopefully it adds to the mix and makes it sound more authentic for you. This next riff is off Take No Prisoners, and I love playing this song. It's probably the most fun song on the album to play for me. And I just love the way that it's just this thrash fest with Dave and Marty going hard at it. And I just love this section of the song the most. And anyway, here it is. This next riff is off Five Magics just at the intro, and I really like this dual guitar part where Marty and Dave are both harmonising with each other. It's just one of the great riffs on the album, that opening scenes. The next part of the song is off Lucretia, and it's just before Marty's solo, where they both play this really cool part. And it's quite difficult to play, but I think it just sounds so good. And then Dave's guitar line behind Marty's solo is really well done as well, and I don't think it gets the credit it deserves. But anyway, this is it here. The next one's an awesome riff from Tornado of Souls just after Marty's solo, and it's the same chord structure they follow, but it's a little bit of a mashup with how they play it, and it's they've just made it a little bit fancier, I guess, with hammer-ons and pull-offs, and added a few more notes, and I just love this section of the song. So the main riff that drives Rust in Peace Polaris is just so cool. And what I actually love about this song the most is probably Dave's vocals when he's singing away, and as the riff changes, he gets an intensity about his voice and he ramps it up another notch. And so if you can hear Dave singing in your head, this is the riff I'm talking about. I really hope you enjoyed this week's installment of Capturing That Tone, and it's such a great album. I love playing it. So thanks very much for tuning in. I really hope you enjoyed this video today. It was not easy to do. It was quite a challenge, but I loved every second of it. And take care, and I'll see you next week with something else. Bye.